let's start in 1603. Even though English imperialism has a long history in Ireland, it obviously goes back to the 12th century, and particularly under the Tudors and Elizabeth I, we see a very significant, if you want, imperial westward expansionism that included Ireland. It was the beginning, if you want, of that age of empire. But in 1603, we have a Stuart king, King James VI and I, who becomes the ruler of all three kingdoms. And it's really during his reign that we see empire move up a level. And what I mean by empire is a desire to colonize Ireland more fully. And obviously it's during this period that we get the plantation of Ulster. And, we're still living with the consequences of that. It's during this period that we see the intense commercialization of Ireland, this desire to take Ireland and stop it being, if you want, an economic backwater and make it more like England. So we see a lot of urbanization, the creation of fairs and markets, a desire to have the Irish use money rather than barter as the basis of their economy. This is an era in which we see, if you want, cultural imperialism really coming to the fore, a desire to make everything English. And it is English rather than British. So basically the Crown wants people in Ireland to speak the English language, wear English clothing, use the English legal system, have English agricultural practices, because it is very much an agriculturally based economy. So you have this economic imperialism about using Irish land and labour to benefit England. You have cultural imperialism. And then you have just military might, this desire to conquer Ireland, because Ireland always represents a strategic threat to England, because it's that back door into England. And we see this in 1588 with the Spanish Armada. Whoever wants to conquer England, let them in Ireland begin, and it's very much a backdoor. So to protect England, Ireland also has to be conquered militarily, and that happens finally in 1603 on the death of Elizabeth and the accession of King James VI and I. So it's a very important moment, and then during the early decades of the 17th century, we have this period of intense colonization, commercialization, and cultivation. And then, of course, we have a major rebellion that breaks out in Ireland that is basically a rejection of all of that. And that triggers a decade of independence from England, and the Irish basically are ruling themselves as an independent country. And then Oliver Cromwell comes along in 1649 and unleashes the New Model Army and reconquers Ireland. And with the reconquest of Ireland by Oliver Cromwell, we then see a new age of empire being ushered in, where it really is about economic imperialism and making Ireland basically the basis for the expansion of the English imperial empire. So 8 million acres of Irish land are confiscated, expropriated. Much of that goes into feeding, if you want, the English imperial venture. And then, of course, the use of Irish labour, both in Ireland but across the English empire. And that phase of imperialism then continues throughout the 17th century.